Okay, in this video, I'd like to cover how you can do more character substitutions, specifically handling commas enclosed between double quotes in a comma-separated values file. So this can often be the case when you have a company name in a column and it's company name, comma, Inc., or first name, comma, last name, comma, first name within a column, and the entire file is comma separated, but within a particular column, there is another embedded comma. And this can wreak havoc on other commands like cut and other commands where you're trying to be able to parse out specific columns. So it's useful to be able to know how to remove that comma in one column without destroying or disrupting all the commas that are the actual column separators. So let's take a look at our input file. I've created a slightly different input file for this example. So in this example, it's currently semicolon delimited, but we're going to change that in a moment to make it comma delimited. But for now, let's take a look at the values in a particular column. So we can say that our file is semicolon delimited, and we want to look at the fourth column. And then we want to look at all of the unique values within that column. And so this is different than the file that we've been using. I converted all of the periods into commas to show that within this one column, some of the values have embedded commas. And when we convert this file into a comma separated values file, these embedded commas are going to cause trouble for us. And so we're going to figure out how to get rid of those. So we'll do that next. As you saw, the file is currently semicolon delimited, but we can change that as we saw with the tr command. And so we can do that. And let's change all of the semicolons to commas. To our input file. And it requires us to write an output file, but let's immediately change that back, rename it to our original file name. And now when we run our cut command, and recall now we've changed the column delimiters to commas, and we look at field 4, so we're looking at column 4 again, you can see the values, some of the values have been chopped off on the end because they were originally separated by commas, and now we're splitting on the commas. So we can really see that if we look at field 5. And now you can see some of these values were certainly at the end of the values that were in column 4. And so let's see how we can get rid of the commas in this fourth column, 1, 2, 3, 4. You can see that the column it's enclosed in double quotes, but there's an embedded comma. Down here in high school there's a comma, and then basic 6 year is a comma. We want to convert these commas into some other value so that we can retain a single value in this column 4. So we can do that with a Perl command. So let's take a look at this command. And currently in that column we have commas. And we want to change it to some other value. So this Perl command says -i is for in-place editing, so we're going to change this document in place. -pe is to put a loop around our command that we're running to run it for all the lines in the file, and then we're going to run a substitution. Here's the first part of the substitution, and here's the value that we'll be replacing in this match. So we've enclosed what we're looking for in parentheses so that we can grab it. And what we're looking for is double quotes, and then within double quotes, some non-double quote character, and at least one of them. So letters, numbers, anything that's not a double quote, we tell that it's not a double quote by this character class of caret and then double quote within square brackets to say not double quote. Plus sign is for at least one of them, and that is in between double quotes. We use the parentheses to grab that value and throw it into the value $1, and then evaluate that against another expression, which is again a substitution. And we're substituting any commas that we find in that value that we grabbed and substituting a dash for those globally within them. And once we've made that substitution, the value goes into the variable match. And once we have that value, we use that value and replace it in whatever value we originally found in that column. The G is to say do that globally across every line, and the E has to do with this replacement value. Usually we consider it a enclosed in double quotes string that we're going to replace in the pattern that we're looking for. But the E says evaluate it as an expression because we have to do an evaluation and reassignment to a new variable before passing that value in to what we are looking for. And so then we do that for our input file. And now that we've substituted an embedded comma for a dash, if we run our cut command on field number 4 and look for all the unique values in there, you can see that we now have a basic dash 4 year. All of the values are dash delimited so that we have one value in that column. So that's one way to replace an embedded comma in a column that is also a comma separated values file so that you can retain all of the values in that column and not run into trouble with other commands that use certain delimiters between the columns. Thanks for watching.